in terms of his great service to Brooklyn and New York City, and I wish you my best. I really do. It'd be a pleasure having a Brooklyn guy as our public advocate. Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio.
Thank you. Marty, thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who's here today, and I want to say something about them and just a couple of things about this campaign and the Office of Public Advocate. First of all, everyone who came and joined us, I appreciate. Willie, thank you. Ola, Walter, all the folks representing other elected officials, thank you so much. I'm going to go now in reverse order and start with my friend Eric DeLon. I have to tell you, this man has done an extraordinary job of chairing the Brooklyn delegation in the City Council. He truly understands how to make government work for people, and he is someone we should all be proud of. I don't think he's gotten the credit he deserves as delegation chair. He's created extraordinary unity and purposefulness and cohesion in our delegation. Eric, thank you so much for that. And in that same vein, I want to thank our chairman, Vito Lopez. Again, I think Brooklyn is more unified than ever. I think the Brooklyn County Democratic Party is stronger than ever. And I see all over this county the incredible capacity of this Democratic Party growing all the time. And I'm honored to have the support of the party. And I see what it does at the grassroots. And in the end, every election is about reaching out to people and actually connecting with them and talking about issues and inspiring them to turn out to vote. And you know, this election, more than most, it's really going to hinge on who has the apparatus, the energy, the reach to get people out to vote. And I know with the support of Vito and the Kings County Democratic Committee, we're going to have that. So Vito, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. And thank you also for everything you do for us in Albany, everything you do on housing issues, and for being a member and a leader of the sane branch of the legislature. I hope you appreciate that the Assembly is the one that's in vogue now, you know? And now, the man himself, you know, it's not typical that anybody, wherever they are, gets to be called Mr. Brooklyn or Mr. wherever they happen to be from. It is something this man earned. He is the personification of our borough. And I tell you, one of the joys of running for office all over the borough and all over the city is you really get to see what people feel. The love for Marty Markowitz in this borough, across absolutely every community, is overwhelming. It's absolutely overwhelming. Except for a few pockets. Yes, that's true. That is always the case. But I gotta say, you know, he earned it. And it was all those years of serving constituents with real needs. It was all the years of showing up when there was an important cause, including a lot of causes that were ahead of their time and weren't popular at the time, but he was there, supporting every Brooklynite and really providing things that people care about. And now in the job of Borough President, what he's done to spark the renaissance and the development of our borough has been absolutely outstanding. I cannot think of a more wonderful endorsement to have. The one thing I know, if I walk with this man through the streets of Brooklyn, every neighborhood, I know my support will grow and grow every single day. Marty, thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I just want to say something about why public advocate matters and why I especially think it matters to people in Brooklyn and all the outer boroughs. I think it's fair to say that the city government is very responsive to Manhattan, and that's fine. But it needs to be responsive to every part of New York City. It's important to have people from Brooklyn and people from the other outer boroughs in substantial offices in this city, because you know what? Your perspective is a crucial part of how you do this work. And if your perspective is tuned in to what's happening in our neighborhoods, if that's what you experience every single day, it's going to affect how you approach the governing of the city and the voices you bring forward, the way you represent the voices of the people and their needs. Now, you know, I am a public school parent. So when I hear about schools issues, it's not abstract to me. I think about what's happening to my son and my daughter every single day. I happen to be a homeowner. So when we deal with all the issues, taxation and all the other issues, property values, I think about that from a very personal perspective. I think about what's happening with the subways in my neighborhood that go into the city. I think about all the things that all of us think about because I'm living it every single day. And we need that perspective at City Hall more. I think what's unfortunately happened, particularly recently, is I think City Hall is not listening to our neighborhoods well enough. I tell you, if you talk to public school parents, they feel like their voices are not being heard. If you talk to people who are in real need in this city, in the middle of this economic crisis, people who are losing jobs, losing services, they feel like their voice is not being heard. There are so many people, small business owners. I'm telling you, I have so many small business owners in my community who are struggling to hang on, and they don't feel the city of New York's helping them. In fact, they feel the city of New York, often through its different agencies, makes their life harder, not easier, and they're trying to make ends meet. I think the Office of Public Advocate is about representing all those voices vibrantly and strongly and strategically and making sure we get real change for people at City Hall. And I am devoted to seeing in these next years that public school parents know that they matter in their kids' education, that they are the way we're going to make schools better, and they're brought to the table. They're not held at arm's length, but they're brought to the table. I'm going to make sure that communities have a voice, every community, whether it's well organized or not, strong or weak politically, whatever, every community deserves a voice in the land use process. Every community wants to see more affordable housing, more hiring of local residents. I'm going to make sure those voices are heard and something really tangible comes of it. And I'm going to make sure that when we're talking about the needs of people who are not so lucky, who are not so advantaged, particularly our children, I'm going to fight for their needs. You know, Eric DeLon said that we in Brooklyn have had to face some real challenges in recent years. For some reason, when the city of New York looks to close down a child care center in a low-income community, they seem to look at Brooklyn first, second, and third. And we have had to fight for the last 2 years. And Eric, I thank you again for your leadership, and Marty for yours. We have had to fight to preserve child care centers. Can you think of anything more basic our government should be doing than providing child care for families in need, so those kids can get a real start and a real opportunity, and the families can actually go and pursue economic opportunity because they know their children are safe and they know they're in a setting that will help them. We don't have that. There's so much else we can't do. But when the mayor has looked to cut child care centers, overwhelmingly that's fallen on Brooklyn. And as chairman of the General Welfare Committee in the council, I've made it my business to stop those closures each and every time. So it's important that we have a voice of the outer boroughs at City Hall. It's important we have a voice of Brooklyn at City Hall. It's important we have a voice of our neighborhoods at City Hall. I know the public advocate can be that voice, and I know with your help, I'll have the chance to serve as our next public advocate. Thank you very, very much.
Questions for Bill de Blasio?
And
for Senator Lopez, who's going to come in first? Everybody's saying second.
Yeah, now you're starting all the speculation.
I don't like to talk about anyone but my candidate.
What about Councilman DeLon? I mean, we heard second twice.
No, Councilman DeLon is going to win this.
No, he asked me the same question. I agree with my county leader. I only like to talk about my candidate.
Bill de Blasio will get in the 30% range and will win the runoff by 4%. And I'm going to make a little wager with my good friend Eric DeLand. A cup of coffee. He says 6, I say 4, and we'll have a lot of fun. And if it's
Either
10,
way you win. I know.
Yes, as long as you win.
I like them both. They're both good predictions.
Yes, Gersh.
So, Borough President, you have endorsed Councilman David Yaskey for controller. He's a Brooklyn councilman. You've endorsed, obviously, Bill de Blasio, the Brooklyn council member. Cynic would say you're not looking at resumes, you're looking at a map. What's the answer to that?
Well, listen, I'll tell you, the truth be told, we have good candidates running for controller and for public advocate. In my opinion, I know pretty much every candidate running. Both Bill and David, in my opinion, represent two individuals that I know will do an outstanding job for all of New York City. The fact that they're Brooklynites, to me, adds the strawberries on top of Junior's cheesecake, to be honest with you.
Where do you come up with them?
Brooklyn is back.
Right.
He makes them up on his own, doesn't he? Yes, sir.
Who's going to be the voice of the health care for the senior citizens?
Well, look, I think what's happening right now is we hope and pray at the national level that our president succeeds in healthcare reform, and we all better support him while we have that chance. But locally, we have to do two things. First of all, keep our senior programs open. Unfortunately, this mayor has consistently suggested consolidating and reducing the amount of senior services. There were serious cuts in this budget. Eric DeLon and I, I'm proud to say, helped lead the charge to get all that money restored in the city budget. And second, we have to use our HHC, Health and Hospital Corporation facilities, better to do more preventative care and primary care. As a city, as a country, we're still waiting for people to get sick, which is not the right way to do things. We have to help people before they get sick, help keep them healthy and get them the care they need.
Final questions? Final questions? Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.